I've always felt different. I've always seen things, but when I tried to express them as a child, I was always told to ignore it.
There were people that I didn't know that came to me and said, I have this message that I keep getting that I have to deliver to you.
All of a sudden, out of the shadows, a homeless man just jumped right in front of me. And he said, I'm a soul just like you.
I love it.
I wanted to understand the universe and who and what we are and what are we doing here.
We're all part of this amazing soul wave tapping into each other.
This was a major life changer.
You are a light. You have helped me a ton. Thank you.
You've given me the courage to live more from my soul.
Millions of people are awakening.
So Wake Up with Michele Meiche, the place to hear the best-selling authors and experts in the fields of cutting-edge self-help, personal growth, metaphysics, and spirituality. The soul path of awakening.
Understand what living awake is.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the program. It's so great to connect with all of you today. Welcome, Wisdom Wednesday. So great to connect. Hi, everyone in the chat, also known as the Sacred Space of Empowerment Room. Also, my co-pilots, cohorts, and co-hosts. Also, they let me know how the sound is. So if you're in the chat, great. If you have a question, you can always type a question in the chat. If you want to just listen anonymously, that's fine, too. Same with all of you listening via the internet on your computer. So welcome, everyone. The first half of the program, I do a little bit of a talk from a channeling and also questions that I received either via email or in social media. Thank you, Tammy. Hey, Athena, welcome. Okay, more people getting in. It's one of those days, isn't it? Beautiful day, actually. Okay. If you did have a question or a comment or you wanted a reading, that number is 347-539-5122. That's 347-539-5122, and press 1 on your keypad. Make sure you press 1 on the keypad. That gives me an indication on the switchboard that you want to get on air, because we have a lot of people that listen by phone and sometimes at work, although it doesn't matter anymore. I guess most people are working at home that are doing office kind of stuff. But, yeah, we have a lot of people listen by phone. I've heard riding their bike, gym, training, walking, vacuuming, computer programming, doing reception. Anyway, I've heard lots of different. In fact, we used to do a little contest of where do you listen to awakenings from. And I'd be interested in reviving that again. If you guys could email or just post on the Awakenings page on Facebook or on my Instagram, at Michele Meiche, where and how you found awakenings and how you listen. I always love when people comment, whether on my YouTube channel, Soul Awakening with Michele Meiche, or any of the other platforms that I'm on sharing. I really get a kick out of it, like how you find a podcast and then where you listen, you know. One woman a couple months ago had put a post in the comments on my YouTube channel about being a mother of twins, and that how, you know, at home a lot, and her partner actually still works out or travels a lot. But anyway, that she was listening through all of this and the pandemic, everything that's going on, and being home with the babies, that she could just put her headsets on, you know, her headphones on and listen. So, yeah, love it, love it, love it. All right, everyone, again, call in number 347-539-5122 and press 1 on the keypad if you want to get it, if you have a question or a comment, or you just want to share how your soul path is unfolding. At the second half of the program, please stick around. We have Juliana and Mark Spicoluk, I hope I'm saying it the right way, from Boho Beautiful will be on, and we'll be having a conversation with them. And so you might want to stick around for that. You can always check them out on their website, YouTube channel, or on Instagram if you want to get a sneak peek of what they're about. Again, call in number 347-539-5122. Press 1 on your keypad. All right, I do have a bit to share before we get to callers, but please, those that are waiting, stay on. I'll try to make this brief. But I really, this whole channel, this platform is really, came out of a channeling that I was to have this with my guides and the spiritual hierarchy and oversouls, that I was to do this show, this podcast. At the time, I had been doing a lot of kind of regular TV and radio stuff, but a lot of also teaching at Agape Spiritual Center. I was in the second rewrite of my book, and a lot of classes and workshops, and quite a full plate enough, I thought, Spirit. But anyway, and they said it's to be called Awakenings. And I thought, Awakening. Nope, Awakenings. There are many awakenings, and you're preparing people for this time that's coming up. Okay. Didn't know where to do it, how to do it, and I mentioned it to a friend of mine, and I just kept meditating and just kept open to the idea. I didn't even know what I would say or talk about. And about a few weeks later, I get a message that a radio station, online radio station, is looking for content, and they're looking for someone to host a show. And I did, Cosmic Dimensions. And I got to actually meet and interview some, because it was mainly musicians that I interviewed, all kinds of musicians, and very, very well-known musicians. Some of them were so gracious. They're like, oh, you can come in our home studio. I was shy. Now I would do it and maybe do some mashups, but I was just like, no, I'll just edit it out, because I had to learn to edit. Back then you had to upload to this FTP server. I had to edit everything. I learned how to edit from DJ Petey. Funkin' Corn greatly helped me get the software and use. It was professional. Can't think of the name right now. And do all of that, and then it unfolded. It was a half an hour, and then it was guests only. We had guests from all over the world, all kinds. And then I've got emails. Oh, we'd like when, because sometimes guests wouldn't be able to make it, so I would jump in and do the show. And so I got emails saying, we love your guests. You have amazing guests, but we also love when you do the show. So that's when it went from a half hour to an hour of guests to me doing the first half of the program. So I share this with you to be alert and aware and awake enough to see the signs and where things are going for you in your own life individually, and how it fits in with the collective without getting too much pulled into what's happening on the surface in the collective, right? So this morning in my meditation, I was realizing, wow, I've been preparing for this time for such a long time, since the late 80s, early 90s. And I'm now realizing a lot of my predictions, whether from the crash in 88, the Berlin Wall coming down, the widespread use of the internet for trading, and that everyday regular people would be trading, and that those expensive seats in the, I don't even remember what they're called, but in the stock market would be gone, to flying the 9/11, to getting seeing visions of what happened before it happened in 9/11, planes blowing up and people being sucked out. And I was to be traveling at that time, and I canceled my plans to travel. I would have been traveling on that day. To what's going on now in the world, I've been to the T been predicting that since mid to late 90s. I've had a succession of visions that reoccurred around 2007 to 2011, and then went dormant and came back in 2016, where they were stronger and with more information. And I think some of it is also just so I trust, and the people that are around me that do my classes and workshops, because many of what I predicted that's happening now, when I did try to share it with certain people, some people, they're like, oh, Michele, or that they just brush me off, or that's not going to happen, or that's science fiction, or, and I could tell it's too fantastical. I mean, I wouldn't, some of what I have been seeing would not have necessarily believed, except that I do trust my connection to Source, to God, and the oversoul spiritual hierarchy. And I've been doing this a long time, and I didn't choose this. So in saying that, I have had quite a lot of people, some of them have done my teleworkshops, You Know Who You Are, which I am going to continue with this program. I am going to continue with the teleworkshops and all that I'm doing on Facebook and Instagram. And little tiny bit on Twitter, but mostly Instagram and Facebook, and of course Soul Awakening with Michele Meiche on YouTube. But I really found, because the last 6 months or so, I've really gotten a lot of people asking, especially when this pandemic happened and in my teleworkshops, we really need to talk about this, or we have nowhere else to talk about this. And this isn't the medium, really. I touch upon things here, but I really want to keep this inspirational because people aren't necessarily, they're signing up for a certain something on this platform. So I really took it to heart. A lot of people saying, they wanted to study more, mentor with me, or wanted to know my training or what I've learned, but also to be able to freely talk and dialogue about what is going on in the world, how that's going to be affecting people individually, and what can you do, which, of course, I touch upon lightly, here on Awakenings. And so I thought I want to create something that we can join together. We can meet up, twice a month or a monthly. So it's ready. Long story short. So I did launch, or it's there now. You can look on Patreon. I looked around. I've been looking for the last 2 years, actually doing research, maybe 2.5 years, of different platforms, and I kept coming back to this one. And I didn't know yet what I was going to do. I was just talking with my team, my crew that support me and support the vision of being of service and helping people to not feel forced to pick door number 1 or door number 2, but door number 3. Where does that lead? Moving out of duality, of the extreme polarity of duality. So I put together, let me know what you think. It's Patreon, Michele Meiche, MicheleMeiche. There may be something under Soul Awakening with Michele also, Michele Meiche. I don't know, but anyway, check it out, see if it resonates. I've been collecting data, audio and video messages that I've been receiving the last 3 or 4 months, actually no, longer, 6 months, when I for sure knew this was the platform that we were going to be using. I just feel it's going to be more manageable. I can do things by, Zoom, Skype. We can see each other. People can ask questions. And I know that the people that are signing up for this want this specific type of information and want to specifically actualize in this way. So I'm very excited to be doing this. Very excited about what I'm doing here, how I'm connecting with everyone, and also on my YouTube channel. And please, if you've been watching, please subscribe and get the notifications. I did hear some people were subscribed, but they weren't getting the notifications. Then I saw on somebody else's video, they said sometimes that happens on YouTube. You have to unsubscribe and resubscribe, click no notifications and then re-click it to get the notifications. Please let me know any other readings you want to see or would be beneficial to you, or any info, again, how I can, because I really like to tailor what I'm giving. I will give what I receive, objectively. However, I also, if people, I really answer the call to what people want or need, or and that's why I decided to do the Patreon. It's been forever. I'm telling you, I've been 2.5 years at least. I think, just 2.5 since I reactivated on YouTube. I thought I want to have something that's more consistent, and it'll be based on the metaphysical and artistic salons that were in the 17th, 18th century into the 20s, where people come together for support, for sharing, for info. I have so much information. I also do have, coming up this Saturday, I do have a teleworkshop on reading the signs. And you probably, thank you, Tammy, how exciting. Oh, Athena, yes, you've subscribed. Yeah, okay, on YouTube, yes. So then unsubscribe, resubscribe, and then click the notifications, unclick it, and then perhaps click it again, and that's supposed to. I don't know why that happens. Even though I had quite a lot of videos on YouTube, YouTube for many years was just a place for me to put some of the workshops and channelings that I did, psychic channel guidance or working with guides, that I was doing. Only some of them, a small amount, and then maybe my demo reel or some TV work or something that I did, or my About Town recordings that I would do. I'd post them, I'd upload them there, and then also on Facebook. So it just was this lovely container, this space, and now I'm filling it more, and there's more connecting and more sharing, and just love what I'm receiving back. So I just feel like so much of what I have is now, although people, so many people that I've worked with over the years, I've been getting emails or people DMing me on Instagram saying, Michele, you predicted all this 20 years ago. You predicted exactly what's happening, or you knew this. So there's been people traveling with me on the Soul Path journey for quite a while. And my whole mission, my whole focus has been to prepare. I had a client yesterday that had done my soul entrepreneurship program and said, oh, you spoke of a lot of this that was going on. And so I've been trying to guide people little by little without scaring people, basically. Because no matter what's going on the outside or surfacely, it still is about moving into oneness, actualizing our gifts, getting out of the extremes of polarity. That's what the ascension is. That's what awakening is, and living more from the soul. Now, there's a lot of stuff around that, it's like going on a hike. Sometimes you go through the mud, it's muddy or it's glassy, or some places there's a lot of trees and shade, and then other places not so much. The sun is beating down on you. Some places it's a little chilly. Some places you see a waterfall. Some places you see cactus. Some places you see deer. Some places you see bears. So the terrain will change, but the path does not. And the path is an inner path. And that's what I want to share, is the inner path, the inner way, to help you navigate. So many questions I keep getting. What should I do? What should I do? And people, I say it, but they don't listen. They think it's something, oh, yeah, okay, I get it. And I'm like, no. Listen to your intuition. Listen to your body. Have ways of tuning in. Because I can tell you the information that's broadcasting broadly out there is such misinformation. It's rehashed. I was telling a friend today, I did my meditation, I went on my walk to get my chai. Thank you, Tom. I'm like, it doesn't matter what right now, what A or B, black or what is it, red or blue, Democrat, Republican, it's all the same. Do you want your meatballs and your spaghetti on the side or on top? So really this is working within the system to move out of the system and create a new, more advanced, expansive, higher frequency system. So I would just say to those people that keep saying that, and again, one could be a little worse, because depending on your preference, which one are you more aligned to? But there's so many fanciful stories going on right now, Even though, yes, is there agenda? Yes. Are they spraying stuff in it? Yes. Is this mandatory vaccine? Is there some people wanting for money and this and that? Yes. But there are also people that are wanting those things and espousing those things that think they're on the right path. I mean, I was thinking today about my vet that Yoshi had, one of her first vets, beautiful soul, wonderful with animals. Yoshi loved her. I loved her. She was amazing. She worked with horses a lot. But she only went to regular standard vet school, and Yoshi, which I got her, I guess I didn't realize because I was vegan at the time, I was feeding her all these vegetables, and she had IBS, which is the worst thing you can do for irritable. I didn't know. Her poo was green. I thought she was really healthy. I thought, wow, beautiful, beautiful. But then she started cramping and having blood, and I got her when she was a year old, right after her birthday. So she was in a very traumatic, I got a lot of anxiety in the house. She didn't have it. So I think she had one bout like a year later, but after that she didn't have any with me, any symptoms. It didn't reoccur. But my vet at the time gave her this, it was called low residue. She said she needs low residue food, and this is, you can only get here at the vet. It's from, it's pharmaceutical grade food. This will help her. But I looked at the food, the canned food, and I'm like, this is like, no offense, doctor, I won't say her name, but I said, this is like what you get at the regular store, because it was made by Purina. And she said, oh, no, you can't get that. And I read the ingredients. I said, no, I can't feed her. I said, listen, I will feed her this for the 6 weeks to help her heal, but I have to be honest with you. Then I'm going to find another way, because I don't eat like this. I can't have my little fur baby eat like this too, She didn't get it, but she was fine. She said, okay, if you find something that helps, and I had Yoshi on homeopathics, and she did really well in certain supplements. Although she knew about glucosamine and MSM, and she told me, she goes, I didn't study this in school, so I can't say anything about this. And so later I found a vet that was, Dr. Shane, which was more homeopathic and aligned with traditional or Western medicine, allopathic, but also she was a homeopath. And I could talk about doing healing work on Yoshi, and she also did acupuncture on dogs. But I did my research, and shout out to Animal Essentials, Rainey there, who started the company, helped me put Yoshi on a diet. And she said, Yoshi, with what she has, is going to need some meat, but not too much. You're going to have to watch the blend of how much vegetable, what you give her. So I had her finally, I used to cook her food with a little turkey or chicken with broth, and then put this sojo's mixture in there, or brown rice or something. But why I'm sharing this story is because that didn't make her evil. She was into vaccinating. All that didn't make her evil, because I was able to do the titer ring. I said, look, I haven't been vaccinated since I was a kid. I had 3 vaccines, and I'm very healthy. Same with all of my family and all my friends around the same age. We had 3 vaccines. We're very healthy. So I cannot over-vaccinate my dog, and I don't board her. So the border-teller, I tried it once, and she was sneezing for a long time. So we did the titer ring, where you see, because the vaccines stay in the system for many, many years. You don't need to keep vaccinating all the time. So I didn't vaccinate. It's limited where I could take her. I couldn't drop her off and have her boarded, because they require the certification for all those vaccines. But that was fine. I was willing to just pay someone to come and babysit her, take care of her at my house and stay at my house, or me. I'd rather pay more than board her, because I didn't, in my world, in my belief, in my health and wellness, I did not believe in doing that. But that didn't make her evil. That vet felt she was doing the best. And we worked it out. So I'm just sharing this because also I saw something today by somebody that was a mentor of mine many years ago, who really now is in the soup of everything, of the good and evil, and all of it. Which I was telling a friend this morning, which I started to say, I feel like we're redoing what some of my earlier metaphysical teachers would say. We do on this planet, we keep repeating cycles to do it a different way. Every way we try to do it a different way that gets more and more conscious. But we do repeat cycles and patterns here on the planet, whether it's wars, types of wars. And if you look, I don't care if you go 20 years, 50 years, 200 years, 500 years, 1,000 years, we're replaying the same thing. In the collective, the mass consciousness, the race consciousness. So the answer has to be not to replay. I don't care if it's Arjuna in the Mahabharata. I don't care if it's Egyptians and Babylonians. I don't care if it's Hitler. I don't care if Mussolini. Who else was Stalin? Who else has been playing these games? And there's still people playing them out. They're on repeat. They're on record. But there is another way that is trying to emerge, and this is the time that it has to anchor in more to create another way. And many of you are awakening to that. You're looking around and saying, there's got to be a different way. There's got to be a different way to do this. So as always, try not to get caught up as much as possible in the extremes of duality. You know, that's the extremes of duality. Let's see. Oh, Yoshi Baby Athena. Yes. So, hey, Lynn. Hey, everyone. Hi, everyone in the chat. Good to see you. The extremes of polarity within the polarity plane are going to pull you off your path and will pull you away from being more and more soul-centered, soul-aligned, from ascending. Because the whole idea of ascension is to move out of the extremes of polarity or duality as much as possible. So if everything comes from one source, let's see, Lynn is saying, how do you spell the new platform name? Oh, I'll put it in. Sorry, you guys. Patreon.com, patreon.com /Michele Meiche. Yeah. Okay, there we go. You might be able to put, let's see, I don't know if I can put it in the chat. Yeah, patreon.com. That's Patreon. Yeah, thank you, Lynn. Thanks for that. Oh, I haven't been able to find it. Link, please. Okay, let's see. Hopefully I can do a link. Let's see. Let me see, Pammy. Obviously, I should have thought of this earlier, but I was in my meditation. Okay, let's see. Let's see if I can find it here. Try Soul Awakening with Michele Meiche. Maybe that's it. Might be changing. Let's see if that's it, you guys. No. I think I put the name Michele Meiche. Okay, I'll have to put the link in then at some point. Oh no, there it is. Patreon.com /Michele Meiche. Patreon.com /MicheleMeiche. Unless I change it to something else. But let me know if you guys get in. Oh, you got it. Yay, Tammy. Yay. Yeah, because I really want to be able to speak completely freely, and also, like, a lot of you are bridgers and builders, and believe me, I was shocked with this person because they have some of the same information. They don't get the direct transmissions that I do from the oversouls or the spiritual hierarchy, but yeah, I guess we have to think we can't have it both ways. I mean, we can have it multiple ways. Everybody can do whatever they want. That's why you got to trust your intuition. Listen to your body, get out of the mind, even if you have an idea or thought of what you need, especially in foods. People have been asking me a lot with this virus, whatever that's been released. I keep saying trust your intuition, immune system. I just got to say, it's not about math. It's not what you do externally that counts. It's what's your consciousness, where your consciousness is at, and what you're believing. In other words, when you get up, are you expecting to see happy people, people maybe that are going through challenges, but supportive people? Or are you expecting to see people you need to fight that don't believe like you? Again, so I just want to touch on this, and I'm going to get to callers. We have to look at if there is this oneness, whatever you call it, God, infinite source, the all that is, and we are all interconnected. We are all and as a shaman, I wouldn't believe it either, but I've had so many experiences of this through my shamanic work as a bereavement counselor, as a psychic medium and a channel, working with the subtle energy. Many of you that have done my workshops and teleworkshops, you've experienced this. Many of you have worked with other people, you've experienced this, or you have this gift. You can't say we're interconnected to everything and everyone except for those over there. Yeah, honestly, you may not like them. I may not like them. I may not understand them. I may see them as very wounded or misguided. or even trying to control. But I have to know on some level they are here by a vibrational match, a vibrational frequency that's holding them in place. There's a resonant field that is holding these ideas, perceptions, energy that manifests as a person, a situation, a circumstance. And I have to have a tad of that. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here in this dialogue, in this realm. There has to be, even if it's only 0.01%. So the only way is raising the vibrational frequency, is getting out of the game. And I cannot remember that Mick something, that artist that was on the show years ago from the UK. Anybody have his name? Put it in the chat. He said it perfectly. What happens is we go to a different fairground. The fairground you used to love is now, it's rusty and the paint's coming off, it's chipped. You still go. Other people still go. The Ferris wheel is a little wobbly, but it's nostalgic. You don't know anything else. And this one's worked for years. You keep going. And then there's another fairground down the road that has more light. It's brighter. It's newer. There's even different kinds of rides that you haven't been on yet. It's not that you hate the other fairground. It served its purpose. So I think people have to decide. I love the typewriter too, but I prefer to use my phone. If I want to use a typewriter out of fun or nostalgia, it's out of choice. But it's not me saying I reject what is the new emerging consciousness. I reject the higher frequency energy of that love, light principle, which is the unifying principle. The unifier is love. Love through oneness. Again, out of the many comes the one. From the one is the many. So it's all about us, a frequency. And no, we're going to have bad days. We're going to be upset. We'll cuss out whatever we perceive as the other side. But where's our consciousness? What are we choosing to focus on? I know it sounds namby-pamby and cliche-ish, but you can see it over time in history that where things became better or more life-enhancing, where things became more exclusive, people got out of the extremes of duality. You look through history, all the solutions. I mean, we used to have, you could look at it through technology. We used to have a phone and a camera we had to carry, something that took the pictures, right? Something for communication. Now it's been brought together. So find ways, you can connect with me. Again, I have my teleworkshop coming. If you're interested, you can email awakenings@podcast@gmail.com or go to soulplayground.life. I believe it's in the events, happenings and events. For more information, you can click there. Through Eventbrite. Always connect with me, Instagram, Facebook, also my YouTube channel. Email me. If you have questions. But I suspect most of the people I'm connecting with, you're already living this way. It's just a confirmation, and you're listening to your intuition, or you're trying to listen more and more, and you're trying to keep out of the fray, because it's a rabbit hole. I've been down a few rabbit holes. I don't need to keep going down them or go for holes. I don't need to. I don't need that kind of tour. So you'll know your answers. You'll know what's right for you through not only your intuition, but getting those confirmations, reading the signs, understanding the signs, and trusting the signs that you've been given. And then you will have people that along the way come and help you. We help each other. All right, Radiant Lights, let's get to callers here. Hello, and welcome to Awakenings with Michele Meiche. You're on air. Welcome.
Hi.
Hi. Whom am I speaking with?
Hi, this is Colette.
Hello, Colette. Welcome to the program.
Hi, I didn't expect to be the first person, so it's lovely to hear from you.
Thank you. Did you have a question?
I do. I have a question about my love life.
Okay.
It's I'm almost 50, and it's been I don't know. I'm just hoping that I'll meet someone that's right for me one day, and I just don't know if you get any tips on that.
Okay, but first, don't lose hope. It's so hard because seeing the soul timing, it's not time, it's timing. It doesn't always happen in the chronological time that we want on the ego level, and it's like, why? What's the reason? Let's see what's coming up for Colette. I keep getting 1997. What happened around there, that time for you? Oh, you are definitely, that was a turning point year for you for some reason.
I actually moved to Oregon from Florida.
Yeah, that was a turning point. Yeah, big change for you, big shift. Okay. First of all, I was hearing something around in the close of the year, but I don't know if it's quote unquote the one or life partner. I feel that's going to be more. Let's see. Is it okay? Let me ask. Is it December? Yeah, there's something around December, January, and then again. Let's see. When is she going to meet this person? So I don't know if it's the same person. You meet through something philosophical. It could be. It could be online. It could be in person. If it's online, it could be like a Zoom thing where you guys see each other, or it could be randomly social media or somebody sends you something. But there's also, because I feel they're near you, there is a offline component. Now, I get that around December, January, and then I get right around Gemini time. So I feel like if somebody comes in your life, it doesn't get closer or some bond really strong until next year. So that's what I'm seeing for you. So there is a partner, and it's somebody that is philosophically similar to you. There's something you're going to be doing that's similar. You have a similar way of thinking, and there's some project or workshop or class or group that you have in common. And it's not something you do all the time, but I feel like you go to this group. Let's see, is it local? Is it Bend? So funny, I just had some clients look at Bend, Oregon. They're thinking about moving there. So what's... Could be, let's see. Yeah, so it's definitely coming, but it's not immediate, okay? But it's in this time frame. All right, Colette, thanks for calling.
Thank you.
Hello, welcome to the program. You're on air. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, you're on air. What's your name? Hello. 651.
Hello.
Okay.
Yeah. Hi. Hi. My name's Jody. Can
Hi,
you hear
Jody.
me?
I
Hi.
can.
Oh my gosh.
Hi.
I can't believe I'm on here. This is so cool. I've been listening to you for the last couple of months, going on my own kind of awakening journey path, whatever. It's definitely a journey.
Yes. Yes, it is.
Yeah, crazy dreams. Things that are just wild. But that's not my question. I'm really I'm struggling with my profession, with my job. And I've been doing what I've been doing for 25, 30 years. And I'm ready for something different, something new. See anything like that coming on?
Yes, but I feel like it's going to be more time of Aquarius. You're looking anywhere from February into March, March, April. So start planning or doing your research, but I do feel there is going to be some kind of opening, some kind of bridging that you're going to be able to do.
Mm-hmm.
I do feel next year a lot more change around you. You could even be moving, okay?
Wow.
So I'm not, yeah. Are you in an office right now?
I work from home a couple times a week. Yeah.
But you're supposed to go back to the office is what I'm hearing. Yeah. Because I feel like that could be if you're not moving your house, then it's the office. Because I feel like you're going to be back in the office or the opportunity. But but I feel like something that you're going to end up, your life is really going to change a lot. I feel like you're going to want to do something that is more remote so you can move around, and that could be travel and or relocate to someplace else. So, for the now, this is fine. Do your research. I definitely see an opening coming where you'll be able to do something else with your skill set. And then you'll do that for a while, and then you'll branch into something else. But the second job allows you to move around, is what I'm hearing.
Okay, cool.
All right,
that's great. I love to travel. Thank you. I will.
Do you? Oh, wonderful. Well, things are going to be freeing up so you can travel more. Whatever it is, I feel like it's like, I just have to have this done by this time, and you can do it anywhere, so you'll be able to work and travel at the same time. All right, Jody, keep listening. We got some quick ones coming on. All right, take care.
Thanks.
Bye.
All right, bye.
You're so welcome. Hello, welcome to Awakenings. You're on air.
Hi, my name is Jamie.
Hi, Jamie. Welcome.
Thank you. I am calling today because I have really been wound up in I'll say, tornado, really working hard to manage my son's health. His name is Ollie.
Okay.
Ollie.
Okay.
And he is 5.
Okay.
And I'm wondering if what's a clear solution in regard to immediate steps I should be taking for him?
Okay, those kinds of questions, I'm going to tune in as best I can, but those kind of questions, because I have so many energies coming in, I really would need to scan him. Those are best if you do privately, personally with me, but I'll see what I can get.
Okay. Sure. I could also direct, I'm trying to decide, how much is this spirit related? If that makes sense. I think he's very connected to spirit and has abilities.
Yeah. I know that, having grown up that way. I feel he's been diagnosed, right?
Yes, he has seizures.
Yeah. Okay.
And as a result, diagnosed with ODD and ADHD.
Okay, because I'm feeling, what's very interesting, I do get him very sensitive to light, sound, and lightning or rain. I feel like he can almost feel I don't know if you've noticed this in him, extreme weather changes or round weather changes you might notice.
Okay, that's news to me. But,
his symptoms. Go ahead.
Well, behavior has been extra extreme the last week, and I'm in California, and there's been kind of thundery storms and weird weather shifts.
That's why, he's very, almost like an animal being, how they know ducks. We do too. I mean, I have my assistant, her knee acts up, when there's going to be a lot of rain. We've lost sight of that. We kind of tune it out, but some people and animal beings still have that gift, or that it's an oversensitivity for him. That might be why I feel, so be aware of that. That's why he's been acting up more, because you're around the thunderstorms.
Okay.
So he senses things. So he's very kinesthetic. He feels a lot through the body. Anything that you can do musically and visually to calm or relax him or help him, in other words, focus, will allow him to have less intensity within his physical body, because he processes a lot through the physical body. Okay, it's like me as a hypnotherapist. If I have people that are overly kinesthetic, the scripts I do will be more of visualization, or hear that sound, or hear my voice. I'll talk a lot about hearing.
Okay.
Instead of did you feel that? So even you adjusting your language, did you see that? Did you hear that, Ollie? What did you hear, Ollie? Because he's already feeling too much, okay? He's already on a sensory overload is what I'm hearing. So adjusting the language, allowing for more sound that calms him but also interests him, or visual. okay? Because the extreme changes that he's feeling, or the changes that he's feeling in weather, is he's feeling it. He's even feeling it before the lightning happens, but he can feel that the rain is coming in, or the lightning, or the hurricane. He feels those changes before we see or hear them. So that's what I would share with you right now that will help that wonderful radiant light being, Ollie, okay?
Yes, that's a beautiful gift. Thank you so much. I can't wait to re-listen and move forward with that.
Okay, wonderful. Tell Ollie I said hello, but he already knows. He knows we're talking. Okay.
Of course. He got up and opened up the light and he's looking outside at the weather. He knows. Okay, much love.
He knows, yes, and the light, yes, exactly. All right. Take good care.
Okay, so much. Thanks.
Mm-hmm. Hello, welcome to Awakenings. You're on air. Hello.
Hello. Hi.
Hi, who's this?
My name's Amanda.
Hi. Hi, Amanda.
Hi.
Welcome.
Thank you so much for taking my call. I have just a question about, do you see my husband getting a job anytime soon?
Okay, let's see.
His name is Rob.
Okay. There's Rob getting a job, getting work. I feel like for a lot of people, there's a lot that's going to be happening this November, December, and it's not just election. People have been saying that, and everything that we think is going to go on, unrest, this and that. Yes, that's happening. But there's something on the individual. I feel like he could get something a little bit different than what he's doing. Is he trying to make a change? Because he should go. He should if he wants to go in that. Is there a new direction? Something else he wants to do?
Not
even
that I
the
know of. I mean, he has been sick and got let go from his job, and then he's been on disability, and now he's healthy again, and now he's trying to get back on the workforce. But because of the pandemic, it's just been like, nothing. Like he's reached out to recruiters.
But has he gone back to the old company? Has he gone back to the old company, but
no.
maybe in a different position? He doesn't want to do that.
No. I've been trying to.
Well, maybe that's what I'm seeing.
Maybe.
So okay, go ahead. You've been trying to what?
Yeah. So we moved across country for his job, and unfortunately, he lost it. But he is adamant that he does not want to move back home for to either get back into that company or to broaden his spectrum on the other side of the country. He's like adamant that he wants to stay on the West Coast, but he's just not getting anything here.
Okay, let me ask about that. Because I feel like he could go back but he would get a different position. If he went back to the other job, there is a job there, but it would be a different position. Now, you just said it. I felt he was going in a new direction, and maybe that's what I'm picking up, is not he wants to, remember I said I feel he wants to go in a new direction or a different job or different company. That might be what I'm picking up on his level or his awareness. He wants to go in a different direction. I feel he can, but he needs to get with it. I don't know, hypnotherapy, some kind of CDs before you, whatever, MP3, whatever, download, whatever, put on your phone before you go to bed to reprogram the mind. Because I feel like he wants to make a change, and I feel he can make this change. He can go in a new direction. I feel that prosperity, abundance can come back in, but he's got a little bit of a resistant negative attitude that's happening, and there's some fear. You've got some fear. You want to go back to the old, That's available, but that's available. But I feel like if he decides I'm going in this direction, this is what I really want, and starts doing that, I do feel that it will pay off. Okay, so that's perspective. Let's see. Rob should take. Let me see. Yeah, it says to open up. One of my assistants, and by the way, she called WTF. She's amazing. She always gets a job. She just throws resumes out. Although this year, because the last 2 years, it's all been about the soul and the higher self, making the decisions. But she'll throw 50, 100, and just like nothing. Just, put them out. Don't even think about it. And at least 80% come back and want to see her and or hire her. So I
Wow.
always have her help me with my submissions because I'm too nervous. And she's like, Michele, just put it out there. Just throw it. Just put it out there. Who cares? That's what you want. You saw that. Just put it out there, or I'll have her do it. That's what your husband needs to do. He needs to get out of his head about what he can do and can't do, and the pandemic and this and that. Remember, all in history, even through crises, pandemics, horrible, devastating things, people have thrived. Not just survived, but thrived. And a lot of invention and innovation has come out of that.
Okay.
This isn't just me channeling psychically. You can look in the history book. So he needs to work, both of you, if you just do it together, and just say, okay, let's just get some new type of energy in and just go for it. I think you're going to really surprise yourself and do really well.
Okay. Great.
Okay?
Thank you.
All right, Amanda.
All right.
Keep us posted. We're rooting for you.
Okay. Thanks so much. Have a good day.
You're welcome. Guys, you got to think, why can't you be the one thriving? Why can't you be the one in the written and digital history books? Why not? Right? Okay, time for our Awakening Dialogue. We have the founders of Boho Beautiful with us today, Juliana and Mark Spicoluk. I hope I have that name right. We're going to be diving in a bit and find out about Boho Beautiful and what their focus and mission is in the community. Hello, Juliana and Mark. Welcome to the program.
Hi, Michele.
Hey there.
Thank you so much for having us here.
Yes, and okay, did I say the last name, the surname correctly, or how do you say it?
Almost, yeah. Mark, you're the best at saying it.
Spicoluk.
Spicoluk.
It's
Yeah.
just very phonetical.
Spicoluk? Spicoluk.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I said it right. Okay, Spicoluk.
Yeah.
Love the ending. Luck. Okay, love it, love it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Juliana, and so I'm new to both of you and what you do. So, and many of our listeners may already know, but I would like to know what it is that you are doing, what's your focus, and kind of a two-parter, because I always ask what people's first awakening is, and then how did you awaken to do this? What brought you on the path to do what you're doing now in service?
That's beautiful.
It's a beautiful question to start with. Yeah. Well, I mean, Boho Beautiful is an online brand, to kind of put it in a little package, but we started with a YouTube channel that has grown to now be a lot of different topics that we cover. So everything obviously from yoga, Pilates to traveling and meditation, plant-based eating.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we cover a lot of topics.
But it's all sort of
so
like
wellness, lifestyle, wellness. You're helping people live better, it sounds like.
Yeah, we're doing our best to create positive content that we can provide for people to improve their general well-being or their physical shape or their perception and relationship to life or the planet around them. It's really, I mean, the core of it is yoga. Classes to follow along with, but the rest all because yoga is sort of a gateway to all kinds of different health and wellness and spirituality
and ideas as well.
And ideas. So we kind of use yoga as the main, the nucleus of it, but it definitely kicks off in many, many different directions.
Great. Now you have online yoga classes, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so I mean, we offer tons of free classes on our YouTube channel at Boho Beautiful, but we also, like Mark mentioned, we offer these free, 20-minute classes as a gateway, as a doorway for people to really explore yoga and to see if that's something that really resonates with them in their heart. And then if that really is something they want to continue, then on our website we offer full-length programs where people can dive a little bit deeper. And, it depends on what they're looking for, whether that is exploring their mind and their body through different styles of yoga, or whether it's getting in a better shape, and they want something a little bit more physically challenging for the body. So we try to put it together in different programs for people to choose from and to dive into and just see what resonates with them and their life in that moment. And our intention and our goal with everything we do is just to raise the frequency of everybody's life, and everyone can do that through their own journey. We just hope to provide the tools for people, and then they take the tools and make the best out of it for themselves.
And what's really interesting is when people sort of start their yoga journey, it's amazing that what they don't expect, but then they end up sort of walking towards. And so we try to leave many types of tools. We have like a plant-based eating a book called the Happy Healthy Plant-Based Eating Guide. We have meditation programs. There's fitness programs, Pilates, but then there's also, there's a lot of like animal rights advocacy we do as well through different videos and fundraisers. We usually do about one big fundraiser a year. So, it's interesting. It's a hard question to just put in a nutshell for what Boho Beautiful is and does, but I think for the most part, we're just out to try to provide any kinds of experience and tools that we have for people to hopefully find a way to improve their own life from it.
I find, by looking at it, and I think people always need, and I see on one of your site, Never Forget to Dream, we all need examples, and I think I work with a lot of people in TV, media, and promotions and that kind of stuff, and one of the things I always found interesting is the idea or thought, someone had told me this at one time that's in that field, your brand is you, it's how you live, right? I mean, if it's authentic or true. Yeah, so probably metaphysically we call it our soul's purpose, living soul connected or soul centered or soul aligned. Yeah. But it seems that you're offering people a way, or you're showing an example of what's possible. And I think that's so important right now in the world. It's like, I'm calling it today from my meditation, door number 3, which door number 3 could lead to 4 or 5 or 6 or I don't know, but getting out of door number 1 and door number 2. We've lived in door number 1, you know what I mean? Bouncing back in the duality, this extreme polarity plane. So it seems you're offering, inspiration and perhaps a possibility or possibilities through your journey. And how you're deciding to live.
I think that's very poignant and accurate, because it goes back to your second part of your question, which is how did we get involved in doing what we're doing? Yes. And I think the Boho Beautiful, in its core and where it's come from, was the deepest whisper of our internal being. And because we were much different people when we began, and as Boho Beautiful evolved, kind of like what you're saying with doors, a door would open and we would
walk through that door.
Yeah, we walked the path of yes, and we said, let's try that, and then we didn't know where that would go and where that would end up or how it would expand us
And that entry through that door always came with its own fears and worries and negativity, that like that duality, right? It's like your heart is pulling you towards something, but of course the mind and the ego gets in the way, and you start to doubt yourself. So it was a lot of we went through a lot of self-growth, and we continue to go through self-growth.
Not even just a lot. I would say a complete transformation of retreating back to the essence of our authenticity of who we were when we who we were meant to be, when we were young, and you had these dreams and aspirations, and you had the courage to chase them, or the courage just even to dream and believe them. And then through years of adulthood, that gets buried under many, many layers. And Boho Beautiful has kind of been the public exploration of us trying to get back to where we began. And so, I think, and that's what's really funny. We lived in an urban city, in Toronto in Canada. We were pretty miserable. We weren't doing anything very spectacular with our lives.
Nothing that was lighting our soul on fire, that felt like you were saying earlier, living your purpose, that you're I'm meant to be here on this earth to fulfill something like that. It felt like we were just in this kind of stuck, in this rat race almost.
Just on a carousel going around every year. And always saying, what if we did this, or maybe this, or, always having little ideas or things. But it all came from the same root, I think, voice saying, there's more to life and there's more to you. and you have more to offer. And then eventually, I think, I don't know. I had a really bad knee injury, and that kind of brought a lot of sort of reality. It's funny how through suffering you can get a really grounding sense of or perspective of your life, and we really did through that, and we just decided, you know what, let's just press record, and we began, and that was the hardest step. It was beginning, and then it became sort of our obsession because we've never stopped, and in the sense of literally, like, it's more than a full-time, it's not a job, it's our life. Yeah. It's all we do, really.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But it takes, and thank you for saying that there was fears and stuff, because I think that could stop people, but also I think sometimes people see the inspiration or see how one lives, and a lot of times on the outside there's this assumption, well, they can do it. You know, they look at they're not fearful, you know, and I don't think you have to show the fear. I mean, I think people need to honestly understand there's going to be fear when there's change, but let your dream, I would say, be bigger than the fear. You know, let that guide you. I think you said earlier, Mark, that voice within. But I'm so glad you said that, because I know, in fact, even our last caller, Amanda and Rob, maybe other people that are listening to this can embark on what it is they really want to do or what they're dreaming of doing, and just factor in the fear. I'm going to come up against fear. I'm going to have doubts. You know, there's nothing wrong with me because I have the fear and the doubt.
Well, the fear is the most natural part of it. I mean, it's programmed almost into us. We want to, you know, accentuate our comfort and avoid uncomfort with all costs. And like, it's just like, I don't know if it's culturally programmed or if it goes back to us when we were, you know, thousands of years into, you know, survival. But unfortunately, it's been programmed into this culture based around dreams instead of survival.
And it's the fear of failure too, right? It's like you have a dream and you want to accomplish it. Then you have like, well, what if I fail? And again, it's that voice that starts speaking to you, and it puts that doubt in your mind. And I think
it's so natural.
It is natural. And I think the hardest thing to learn through it all is to silence that voice and to have your heart and your desire to accomplish a dream or something that you've always wanted to do or become be bigger than any of that, and always focusing on it and understanding that with anything great, with anything that is life-changing or career-changing,
or just
fear or change in general, fear will always be there.
Well, not just change, but to do and create, just to create something.
Yeah.
Just to sit down and paint a picture. There's so much that will get in the way of something so simple. So many, and it's just resistance, and it's in everyone. It's in the greatest actors in the world, and the greatest musicians and poets and painters, and anyone that does anything that has to find that source and become vulnerable to their own skills and talents, whatever it might be. It could just be building a house. There's a lot of fear, and but that's the thing. That resistance is so natural. Even the greatest in the world, they face it every day. When you read the books about them, there's people before they get on stage that 30 years into their career, they throw up every time before they go on stage. But it's the ability to respect that fear, recognize it's there, not realize that's a failure or it has any rationale, and then the ability to meet it with respect and rise above it. And I think that's like a very beautiful, I don't know, sort of way that we've kind of tried to manhandle it ourselves, because every time we put a video online, there's fear. Every time we go to record a class, there's fear. We've done 500 classes at this point. Yeah, I don't know. So. And every time we go to do something or to make a new video or whatever, like you're putting something out in the world, there's always going to be that. And the more you do it, the more you realize, wow, it never goes away. You just learn to cope with it better. And the first time's always the hardest.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's like this fear of not being seen, but then the fear of being seen. Fear of, you're right, there's a vulnerability. But it's beautiful, the vulnerability that I'm learning to revel in that more, that vulnerability. I did a post a while ago on my YouTube channel, and I was doing some vocalizations, and I thought light beings And I thought, you know what, I'm going to put it because this is what I'm feeling right now. And I got so much amazing energy back about it. But it was scary. I almost didn't post it. And I told myself, typos, mistakes, off key, I keep it because it's part of my unfolding, my path. Let me ask you both. We're talking about this, and I love it because it's so. I'm hoping people are so inspired to just try things and move forward, even if there's a glitch or something. What helps you? Because Mark, you even said you respect it and rise above it. What helps you both? And you said cope. What helps you cope? What helps you rise above it? What helps you do that class or post that video? What helps you make that decision, even though the fear comes up?
I think it's the idea that we have one life to live. And if we don't, that might be one of the regrets. That, holding back leaves such a gaping, a gaping vulnerability for regret or for wondering what if. And so I think anytime we've ever moved in a new direction, it's...
Why not? Because it's that idea of what if today is the last day we have here on Earth? It's like we have this sense of living where we feel like, our life's just going to be forever. But unfortunately, with so much going on in the world, you don't know when the last day will be for you. And I think for us to recognize that and to think about that, it's almost very humbling to know that how fragile our life is here. And so then when those fears and those emotions arise of like you were saying, being judged or fear, what if this video is not good enough? It's like, well, you know what, if as long as you're expressing yourself and you're expressing your own authenticity to the world, well, tomorrow may be too late to share that. So you might as well just put it out there and put it out to the universe.
So maybe it's just reminding ourselves of our own, our own limitations on this planet and the fact that, I don't know. Maybe it's a really good question. I don't think we have I think we're more instinctual with just facing it rather than having a methodical approach. But I think we do tend to when we feel like we're holding back, or when a big decision comes up. I know that we have tapped on that concept more than a few times, which is just well, what do we have to lose? Because we could lose everything tomorrow.
I think that what you're saying is not only amazing, but it is helpful. It's beneficial because a lot of people encounter what you're encountering mentally, emotionally, but they stop there because they have this idea that means they can't do it. Where you're saying that's just part of it. Let's move forward. Let's don't dwell. Let's go. Let's do it. This is what we want to share, what we want to do, and you move forward. That it's like that saying, even though this is happening, I move forward. Even though my knee is hurting me, I'm on this hike and I'm enjoying this hike. You know what I mean? Even though I just go forward, I go for it because that's life. Amazing.
Yeah. And also, just to comment on what you were saying, how, when you posted that video, you were nervous about and how much good energy that you received back. I think for us in this moment right now, something that also uplifts us is to know that so many people can take benefit from something that we post. Someone in the world out there, that video has affected them in some way that's helped them in their journey. And that alone right there is more than enough to kind of give us that fire to be able to serve in a way, to contribute to the world and to the embetterment of people and their journees. And
because it's if you and I guess maybe that's also a very valuable piece of that puzzle for how do you face it? Well, if it is in service, does it matter if anyone finds it, or is it the process of service? And no one will find it. That's a guarantee if you don't proceed. Nobody. You will be of zero service. But to put it into the universe and let the universe decide what purpose it has and to who, that's all we can do.
Ooh,
that's really
love that.
I don't know. It could be. Sometimes we get millions of views on a video, but that's just a view. That's a number. But what's special is when you get that email or that comment that just strikes a chord in you, and you realize that one person, if that's all there was, then it's all worth it. Because, like, I don't know, it's a beautiful thing in this day and age where we can communicate, and we can influence each other, we can inspire each other, we can give value to each other with just a few clicks of a keyboard and a mouse and a video camera or whatever. And it's like, what a magical
And it really
time.
does help. Yeah, it's magic, and it really does help people. Sometimes that one video, that one post, whatever it is,
just click with someone that needs it.
Be just what that person needs.
Yeah, and it's and to us, I think that's what's so fascinating about this day and age, which makes it also, I think, part of the reason we knew we had to do it is because, I mean, I think in this day and age with everything in front of us, everyone has gifts, and everyone has a unique perspective and a talent or some kind of offering to the world, even if it's just time and just like listening or whatever it might be. And it's almost like with all these tools around us, I feel like it's a moral obligation. Everyone should create
do something.
And do something like and
contribute.
Because
it's about contribution.
Contribution and purpose. I mean, that's the one way to lift yourself out of anything. Is give yourself a purpose, and it doesn't need to be like. It don't have to be massive. You could like just doing the process of purpose.
And your purpose could be serving, not just human beings, but it could be serving the animals. It could be serving planet Earth. Everybody has their role to play. And I think what's beautiful about this time right now is that everyone can help in every little way. And not to be discouraged that only just because you're not affecting maybe thousands of millions of people isn't the reason for you to stop or not to pursue that dream or purpose. Because even if you're helping 10 animals, and you want to have a dream or one animal to start a sanctuary or a rescued animal, you know what I mean? Any kind of act of kindness and compassion is enough to contribute to the positive ascension, as you were mentioned before, of our consciousness right now, our collective consciousness.
One of my teachers in one of my metaphysical trainings said that part of the ascension and awakening is us speaking up and using our gifts. That actually to awaken more fully, we have to use our gifts. And I love what you said. It's like it's a responsibility, because we're all co-creating this by not only our beliefs, but what we put out in the world is changing the world. Our enlightened creations, reality, then changes that reality and enlightens humanity. So each of us doing it individually is co-creating this, new paradigm. But we all each need to do it. That's part. And get over the fear, right? It sounds like to me, too, the way you're living, it's part of your spirituality.
Oh, yeah.
It is. It definitely is.
Did you say so?
Oh, yeah.
It's funny.
Mark, go ahead.
I don't know. We don't necessarily specifically talk about our spirituality in words very often, but I think that our life is sort of an act of spiritualism, meaning we do our best to we hold ourselves accountable to our own authenticity in everything we do, and we are open to all kinds of things that I think before we began we would have thought are a little bit like, I don't know, a little bit like woo, like the fact like we've embraced the universalism, like the universal all. And here I speak of this, and us at the beginning of this whole journey I would have rolled my eyes the minute I heard myself say that. But I think that's the path. We have to be open to go through the next door. And what you find, you're never going to know until you go through, and then it's going to reveal more doors to walk through after that. And as long as you continue on that path of yes, that sort of dance, that becomes your spirituality. And I think in a way, like, people always ask us online, like, what our religion is or what we believe in, or all these crazy questions where people love to have things that they can just put in a little box and, put a little name tag on us and say, oh, well, they're this. But for us, it's just, I don't know, we just live the best we can live. We try to improve ourselves every day, and we try to...
And that is part of our spiritual practice.
And that is our spirituality.
Yeah, it's constantly seeing how much better
because beliefs change. Believe me, I've beliefs changed. they do over time. So this will grow. Let me ask you both, because we touched on it just briefly, but what were you doing before this in your outer world, and how did you make the decision to do this? I think I saw in one of your videos, you were deciding to leave, or you were, I think, leaving the big city, going someplace else. Just want to know what you were doing before in that defining moment that got you on this part of your path. Or moments, maybe.
Yeah, I myself was I was a yoga teacher in Toronto, teaching in various gyms and studios and private clients, and I was constantly pretty much living out of my car because I was always on the road, moving from one place to another. And I did that for a while until, like Mark was saying, life just somehow began to feel like it was a carousel. I continued to kind of go to the same place, the same studio, have the same students, and it was wonderful to have like the students that would come to me, but I just never felt like I was growing. I never felt like I was moving higher somewhere. Like if I imagine my life in 5 years, I'm like, I can't imagine myself doing the same thing over and over again. And I think that realization of, and again, it comes back to that idea of like, well, what if I die tomorrow? Like my life is so fragile. I don't want to do this for the rest of my life. So just those ideas started to get planted in my mind, where after a while it started to almost become heavy in my heart. Like there's like this heaviness to every day I would wake up, and I just felt like I was dragging myself through this routine. And I knew something had to change. I knew I had to do something. And I think what's a huge blessing for us in our life is that Mark and I were in the same path at that point, feeling the same way, so we could hold each other in that way and help each other to find a way to get out.
Wow. Myself, I was an extremely successful and unbelievably unhappy music executive. And that was just based on the idea that no matter how much people thought that I was winning, I never truly felt like I was full. And there was just this empty feeling that nothing could fill for me, no matter how high up a corporate ladder I climbed or however much success there was, quote unquote, how much money I made, like all of that just, it made no sense to me, because I had started in music because of art, and I had ended at a boardroom table, and that to me was backwards in itself. And I think that realization of like, is this where I see myself in 30 years, and then will I be proud of the life I live and the decisions that I made taking here? And then I think with Juliana's support and our mutual just unsettlingness, if that's even a word, like there's just nothing, it didn't feel right, even though
we would travel and come back to Canada, and
you were done.
Like we needed to leave. Like we would just feel this heaviness, almost like I remember I would come back to Toronto and like want to cry because I was back. It was like just like I don't want to be there anymore. Like something inside of me was like I need to leave,
And so I think it's interesting. It's just like this. This, and again, it's just that thing that at night it's a whisper in your heart, from your soul, in your heart, and you know that it's not supposed to be this way. And I think with Juliana's support, I actually walked in one day and just quit and just ghosted, and like literally within a heartbeat took a 15-year career and just laid it to rest, and just never even like literally ghosted, just was like, I'm done. I never saw anyone again. And we decided from that point forward, well, now we got to actually figure out what we want for once in our life. And that was difficult. And we had lots of ideas, but like this one kept making sense to us. And so then it became sort of a progression from there, like starting at the very
bottom,
at the very low, like lowest, most terrified level, and slowly climbing up. And there's, like you said, like there was a process. I think there's very key moments along the way. But the main thing was when we did that, we just went, once we decided that Boho Beautiful was going to be our purpose, and we wanted nothing from it We had very little expectation. We actually told ourselves to want nothing from it in order not so that it wouldn't mess with the process of what we knew we needed to do. And we gave 150%. Mm-hmm. Every hour, like adjusted all of our daily habits, all of our life.
We stayed in Toronto for like another 2 years.
2 years we spent in Toronto just basically working on our dream.
On our dream and saving money and finding all the ways that we can create that, we call it our escape plan, where we could feel comfortable and secure enough, I guess, since we felt very financially secure when we left, but secure enough that we could just sell everything we had at that time, all our possessions. We packed a van and we just left. We just drove. First, we went to a cabin off the grid in Invermere, BC, in the middle of winter, which was very interesting, but very spiritual experience, actually, just to completely disconnect in that way, and then just let our hearts lead us forward. And then we started traveling and
working
and working and creating and sharing and putting ourselves out there.
I love that you started with the giving. You gave, and then it grew. Now you also have, I'm going to mention for our listeners a couple of programs. One is Transform, and then the other one is a retreat, which is a digital program. Can you share a bit of those two programs with us?
Of course, yeah. So Boho Beautiful Transform was one of those, what we were saying earlier at the beginning, physically demanding programs. So it's, we call it like a new generation fitness program. So it's a full mat-based fitness program that is a combination of Pilates and yoga and cardio. And it's really meant for our for those viewers and the people that wish to try it, that are wanting to take their fitness to the next level. So it's quite challenging for some people, but it really helps you transcend to that new level of strength. And
what's really interesting about that is part of why we called it Transform was because we truly feel it working out for us, like physical exercise, fitness routine, whatever it is that you do to give back to your body. I guess it's similar to what you were just saying, like when you start by giving, you receive so much more. And for us, like fitness, it's funny, I don't think we're the typical fitness couple or fitness brand, and that's definitely not the typical fitness program, because for us, fitness is about how you feel. And we, like most people, a lot of people, almost everyone starts being like, there's very sort of superficial purposes.
Yeah,
I want to lose weight, or I want to, look better for this time of the year, all these kinds of things that we all, end up adopting a new fitness practice for. But when you're open to it, the beautiful thing that I think we found, and that we try to share a lot in messaging and in the content we make, is that you get so much more for your being, not for how your body looks, but it's about how you feel rather than how you look. And all of a sudden, as that shift starts to happen, I think Transform is a beautiful program for it, because it's just long enough and it creates just enough habit loops, and it's just challenging enough that I think if you make it through to the end, you start to really realize that fitness isn't about just how you look. I mean, that's gravy. It's, people love it. But I think if you can find that way just a step deeper, it's really about how you feel.
And how you feel at the end of it, too.
And
like
how you
once
feel at the
you've
end
accomplished going through something very challenging. And that was the whole intention behind that program. And then Boho Beautiful Retreat was our latest program that we shot in Nicaragua last year. And that was actually program that we wanted to provide that would give people the experience of a yoga retreat without having to leave their house, without having to travel or to sacrifice, having to take time off work or time away from their families, because we found that yoga retreats are so beneficial and not just the idea that you do yoga every day, but also giving your mind and your heart a little bit a deeper way to explore itself. And so that was the biggest intention behind it. And it's a very in-depth program where you do yoga twice a day, and there's like journaling exercises and meditations and yoga nidra and breathing exercises. I mean, there's so much. Yeah. So there's just so much that we hope can give to somebody. And the funniest thing, what happened was when we released it, literally I don't know, maybe
we released on the 1st of
January, and a month later, the pandemic hit and everybody was quarantined, and so
a lot of people found a lot of value from the ability not just to have a yoga retreat on their own or with their family or friends in their home, but there was I think a real need to return to ourselves, especially in the very beginning of all of the uncertainty, when it didn't make it, nothing in the world made any sense.
Right.
I mean, we've come to grips culturally, I think, with the uncertainty in a lot of ways, and everyone's found their own ways. But at the start, it became it was
really hard for a lot of people, and it was really beautiful to hear at that time the response we received from this program and how much value people took and just helping them cope with their own lives by incorporating things like yoga twice a day and breathing and relaxation techniques and even journaling, expressing your thoughts in your heart on paper was something very healing. So, but we actually also, because we're speaking of these programs, before we got on here, we wanted to offer everybody that's listening a coupon code as well.
In case they wanted to try.
We just love to give people that opportunity.
Thank you.
Yeah, so
what is that code? And I'll put it in the chat also. What is
For sure. It's just podcast 20.
It's 20% off.
20% off any of the programs, really. But if anybody is listening right now and wants to try Transform or Retreat, they can get an extra 20% off the program. And we just hope it brings some value to people, because we all need it. We all need time to reconnect to ourselves and embrace a little bit of healing.
Yeah, and we don't do it alone. You need support. It doesn't happen no matter how. Okay, thank you, Tammy, for putting that in the chat. You beat me to it already. Okay, thank you. We don't do it on our own, or we do it on our own many times, but not alone. And part of it too, what I've realized over the years, it's also energetic. Whether it's a place that's inspirational, or people, or a program that you're putting, similar to what you're putting out there. We all need that energy, that inspirational, positive uplift from something or someone else. It's just a little boost.
Totally.
Love that so much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sometimes I'll just go places. I'll go on a walkabout where I know that I will be inspired, and depending on what I'm focused or working on, I'll just let my intuition guide me, and I always find inspiration. The other day I was at a cafe, and people were talking about this holistic community and all this beautiful energy coming, and I was like, my ear just caught a couple of words in the energy, and then I just went back writing for my blog, and I was like, oh, it feels so good. Just to hear the feeling, the energy behind the energy behind the words. So powerful. They also have a Boho Beautiful Yoga Handbook. Let me get the tools out. You've got the Transformation Program. You've got the Retreat, which is a digital program, and books as well. And are the books available on your website or Amazon, or where they're available?
Everything's available through our website, bohobeautiful.life. The Yoga Handbook is actually free, and we offer that for people if, they just subscribe to our newsletter, and they'll get an email with, Yoga Handbook, and also some healthy, juice and smooth recipes. That's all,
And also a yoga calendar.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the three things. You can get a little email with the yoga calendar, the juice and smoothie book, and the yoga handbook.
So
and the yoga handbook's really special.
I'm going to put it in the chat. bohobeautiful.life.
Yeah.
That's our website. Yeah.
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
My website's soulplayground.life. You're the only other person other than one of my assistants that I know that picked the .life. I love it.
That's amazing. I've never met anyone else that's picked .life.
I know. That's awesome.
That's so cool.
I love it. Very cool. Very cool. Okay, so bohobeautiful.life, and people sign up for the newsletter. There's some lovely goodies. conscious goodies for everyone. And then they can also check out your program, Transform, and also the retreat. Oh, you guys, so amazing to have you on the program. I really enjoyed our conversation. It's been really not just enlightening, but uplifting. It's really been an honor and a treasure to spend this time with you. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's been wonderful to chat and just to feel your energy as well. So we appreciate it. Thank you.
Such positive energy. It's so refreshing.
Very uplifting, for sure.
Yeah. Likewise. Great to connect. We'll keep in touch.
Amazing.
Let us know what you're doing. Okay.
For sure. Have a beautiful
love
day.
And light. You too. Take
Bye.
Care. Bye. All right, everyone. Wow, what a great conversation. I feel even more uplifted and inspired than I was before. So that was Juliana and Mark Spicoluk. You can connect with them at bohobeautiful.life. There is a discount code if you do their Transform program or their Retreat digital program, and that's podcast 20 is the code. And you can sign up for their email list at bohobeautiful.life as well, and there's some goodies to help you live consciously and in a way that you feel supported. Thank you all in the chat for co-creating this, and everyone that called in, and of course listeners that are listening later. We love you. You're with us always. So appreciate all of you for co-creating this with me. I really, really appreciate all of you and what you're doing in the world. And I know it's tough right now. There's a lot of challenges. But I'm so inspired by the way that you're making it through and just being you, just shining and just being you. If you want to connect with me this weekend, I am doing a teleworkshop on reading the signs, trusting the signs, using your intuition to navigate. You can find out information at soulplayground.life. There should be a post in the next few days also on Facebook and Instagram if you need a little reminder. Also, you can connect with me now on my other platform, patreon.com, Michele Meiche, patreon.com/MICHELEMEICHE. All right, lovies, keep shining bright, share your insight, and keep awake.
Awakenings broadcasts every Wednesday, 12 p.m. Pacific Time. Archive shows available on iTunes. For continued awakened conversations and insights, join the Awakenings group on Facebook. And check out Michele's blog at soulplayground.com. And keep awake.